Dungeon Master's Diary number 1. Hello, welcome to the channel. Players, non-players, people that have just accidentally stumbled across this. I am just, logging this as a sort of idea, kind of going over a little thought process. You can hear me speaking out loud how I'm thinking about sessions or future storylines, etc., etc. So today I will be logging about the last session, which was it was called The Plight of Sir Lorcan of Aegon. I have been planning on getting the party, the Stormbreakers, as they are called, out of the first floor, but there's a trap that scattered them to two ends of the dungeon, or two characters to two ends of the dungeon, both on the same side, which is nice, but one of them has had no threats, which is fortunate. I was rolling in the background making sure I felt like the players weren't feeling included enough because there was a lot happening with the people that had stuck behind, even with the bonuses that the paladin gives them, the NPC Sir Lorcan, and their actual golden boy paladin Toma, but Henry Anil, the sorcerer, he was sent to the southwest area of the dungeon, which was originally meant to be the start of the dungeon, but I thought I'll pull it back, move it further into one of the aggresses on the map, just to sort that out. Whereas David Steinbrook, the champion, fighter, hunter, ranger, ghost slayer, blood hunter, multi-class, Weed Jesus as we call him, has been sent to the northwest of the dungeon. He is in significantly more danger than Henra is. A bone claw known as Cryro's bone claw, created by the wizard Cryro, who's also been renowned as a sorcerer as well. Had a bit of sorceric heritage. Had created this being to guard and assist. Unfortunately, I didn't have the token at the time, so I just sort of used the Stranger Things Demogorgon as a stand-in. It's just either that or it was a duck, which is usually the common one I use if there isn't a token for that monster. So yeah, the party, what remained of the party after the teleportation trap had caught them, they entered a room which had piles of corpses, of ghouls and wights. Smelled horrible, the ichor stuck to their boots and just hanged in the air like a horrible darkness and a sweatiness almost. And as they were walking, one of them with really high perception just caught something up on the ceiling. The Bone Claw had been defending this room. It was sealed inside. They managed to successfully sneak past. Luckily, the only reason that it hadn't attacked them is because they moved at half movement speed, and the alchemist artificer that they have, Daron, he, from my understanding, he just uses a special deodorizing agent, so it couldn't smell him, so it didn't sense anything. Uh, but the other party members that were with them, Dotrin, the party barbarian, Tank, the NPC barbarian, Sir Lorcan, and Toma, they didn't have this agent, but Sir Lorcan always smells of fine perfume, Toma always smells like cinnamon, and Dotrin is cold. He's a white dragonborn. He's got cold breath, and I always assume that he's so cold he doesn't sweat properly, doesn't produce a smell. Tank, the barbarian, has been keeping his hygiene up in recent times. Never used to be. They made their way through and sealed this creature back inside, so they knew it was fine. Little did they know that this bone claw is able to squeeze through a space no more than an inch, basically allowing it to phase through holes in a wall. It's a scary monster. It's not a typical bone claw. They ended up encountering an ancient blue dragon, which have been extinct in Andorol, which is the location that they have been playing in this campaign, which is an undiscovered part of the world, but it's inhabited by people. So they noticed it and they fought it. This thing, because the party is in epic levels, we use like special documents. They are at level 25, 26-ish. So I ramped this thing's difficulty up significantly. I was using some stat blocks that I had encountered across some forums. I thought, yeah, I'll use that one. Why not? I'll change it up a little bit. It's not the right one, but I can change it, just on a whim. And I didn't notice until it was too late that the Dragon's Breath attack did d20s in damage, which I found absolutely bananas. It has not been used like that since 2nd edition. That is not normal. That was fun. The only reason that this dragon came back to life is because Dotrin, in his ineffable wisdom, decided to touch a glowing, glinty, sparkly gem in the dragon's skull. There's a little gem stuck in its eye socket. He just touched it with his prosthetic arm, and it sucked his soul into it and revived it. He had to make saves against its pool, its energy drain from in there, and he kept making them, which I'm glad he did, because if he had failed 3 times, like death saving throws, it would have absorbed him. He would be permanently dead, and the Dracolich would gain some of his class abilities, which would make the fight so much harder than it already was. It does extra damage, gets resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing. So yeah, the fight was going badly. Sir Lorcan jumps out. He's a multi-classed NPC. He's an epic level NPC who's just he's not really there to join them. He's just there to help. But he's a multi-class of sort of a multi-class. He's got aspects of a rogue, a paladin, and a fighter. And I sprinkled in a little bit of arcane trickster in there, a little bit of that, a little touch of what do you say? I would say maybe a bit of ranger, a little bit like that. Let's just say he's a jack of all trades. But he comes in and he attacks 3 times, smites, crits again, and then he action surges and he crits again, and then it attacks and he hits all 6 times. and his sword is unique as it crits. It does an additional dice of damage each time it crits. So this weapon was doing like a D8 plus 5d8 damage plus smite plus his fighting style plus his improved divine smite plus the weapon's additional lightning damage. It's just crazy amounts of damage, and he took down, luckily, about 600 points of health from that dragon in one turn, about 670 something, I believe it was. So you just saw the health bar and it just shrunk down. That was a sight to behold. You know, I was like, man, this dragon's got 1,230 health. Great. And the artificer had really chunked him a bit. So that was good. And then just Lorcan comes in and wipes him down, bringing the HP pool, I think it was about 300 or so. But then they did beat it, and the phylactery dropped, and they destroyed it, luckily, releasing Dotran's soul and sending it back into his body. That was very clutch as well, because as soon as they broke it, I asked him to make a save versus it, because if he didn't, his soul would have vanished. I know you guys will be listening, so there's a little bit of fun fact for you. So for the next session, I know I'll need to immediately prep for what this Boneclaw is going to do to David. I can't remember the magic bonus to David's bow. I keep asking my players what their magic bonus to their weapons are, because there's reasons I keep asking that. I'm not going to tell them, because they will listen to this, what it is. You'll just have to figure it out. As for learning about, the lore of Aen'Banshier, or Banshiera, or there's multiple names for this dungeon. It's called Dreadlord's Domain, for those who don't know, just in case someone stumbles across this. Very spooky place. It's fought over a lot by the 4 Dreadlords, which are basically fairy tales that became real. This one that they're fighting, called Sira Alain, or Alain, is the corpse king, has power over dead things, or raises things from the dead. They're not the nicest thing in the world. They tempt you in with deals and promises of power, and they'll twist your soul and just make you a horrible person. That's why they're there, to free Krieg the Merciless, who is the eldest brother to Dotran the Barbarian. He wants him to be freed of this deity so that his soul becomes neutralized, and if they fight, Dotran will probably, and there's me speculating a lot, because you never know the roll of the dice, Krieg could win, Dotran could win, they could tie. They are expecting to kill Krieg, because they have killed Krieg before, but he came back, because he is a revenant, because that's how the Dreadlord has made him. Which is the fun part. Well, do they know about some other element that could be doing that? There's a lot of things that could be doing that, but I have plans for that storyline. It's a perfectly good storyline to work with in this end game, because it ties together nicely with the villain. Well, I say the villains. The Stormbreakers aren't exactly, no, golden children. They're okay people. They're morally grey, but the Hands of Nasserai are inherently black-hearted, I tend to try and make my villains or bad guys or BBEGs just a little bit sort of complex. I don't like to just be like, this guy's just dead evil. Doesn't have a reason for it, he just likes being evil. Which I do have some people like that. But there are reasons that the Hands of Nasserai, the evil party, quote unquote, uh, is evil. They have their reasons. And all will be revealed to the party within the next. Well, it depends on how fast they get through the next set of the dungeon. Probably in the next maybe 2-3 sessions, because it will become more apparent. But yeah, I think I've rambled on long enough. Well, I hope you enjoyed my little uh, reflective diary, as it is. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to call it. Might call it the Dungeon Master's Diary, or whatnot. But hey, welcome to the channel, guys, gals, and everywhere pals. But yeah, my lovely RPG enthusiasts, I shall say, my munderlings. I hope you have a pleasant day, and thank you for taking the time to listen to my crazy mindset. And yeah, until next time.